From time immemorial within the Zelda series, there have been three constant variables in Hyrule's history. The Triforce of Courage, bestowed upon a hero clad in a green tunic, wielding the sword that seals the darkness. The Triforce of Wisdom, given to Hyrule's protector, Princess Zelda. And last but not least, the Triforce of Power, stolen by the incarnation of pure evil. The King of the Gerudo, the Demon King, King Ganondorf.
From tricking Link into opening the Sacred Realm and taking the Triforce for himself, to seizing control of Hyrule through Zant and the Twilight, Ganondorf is not only Nintendo's most notorious villain, but also its most sadistic and evil. While the series has seen many antagonists from the original Demon King, Demise, to the Wind Mage, Vati, no villain is as beloved by fans as the King of Thieves himself. Since his first appearance in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Ganondorf has appeared in 4 mainline titles: Ocarina of Time, The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, his second appearance, Twilight Princess, his last appearance before his return in Tears of the Kingdom. In today's video, we'll explore all of these iterations of the Demon King to determine which is the best in our personal opinion. We will break down each version of Ganondorf based on his plans, motivations, character, and fates, ranking them from least to best.
None of these versions of Ganondorf are bad. In fact, I enjoy all of them, but I do enjoy some more than others, which is how I'll be ranking them in this video. My name is ND, and welcome to Game Domain. Let's get started with this first entry in the list.
Number 4, Ganondorf, Tears of the Kingdom. The reveal of Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom during its first teaser trailer, then known as Breath of the Wild 2, was one of the most exciting moments in the series. Seeing his lifeless, mummified corpse with dark malice swirling around him, only for the ground to shake and, in a chilling moment, his neck to snap as he glares at Link and Zelda with blood-red eyes, was incredible. Once the game was released, this moment became even more intense. Link, trying to protect Zelda from the now called Gloom, slashes at it with the Master Sword, only for the legendary blade, created by the goddess Hylia herself, to shatter into pieces. Ganondorf then turns to Link, draining nearly all of his life force as the player watches Link's health deplete in an instant. As the hero collapses, Ganondorf raises his hands and, using his magic, lifts Hyrule Castle into the sky, initiating the event now known as the Upheaval, which reshapes Hyrule's landscape entirely. After this, Ganondorf falls into the depths beneath Hyrule Castle, where he rests, gaining his power. However, until the end of the game, we see little of him outside of flashbacks scattered throughout Hyrule. In these flashbacks, we witness a Ganondorf driven by pure rage and an insatiable lust for power, seeking to claim Hyrule from King Rauru, one of the last Zonai, and his wife Queen Sonia, a Hylian. The two possess mysterious secret stones, artifacts that enhance their power, something demonstrated when Rauru effortlessly annihilates a pack of Moldugas sent by Ganondorf and the Gerudo in an attempted infiltration of Hyrule. Recognizing this power, Ganondorf pledges loyalty to Rauru, scheming to get close enough to one of the secret stones. Using his intelligence, he creates a phantom resembling Princess Zelda to assassinate Queen Sonia. Though Zelda exposes the fake, this was all part of Ganondorf's grand plan. As they are distracted by the phantom, the King of Thieves strikes, appearing behind Sonia and stabbing her in the chest, killing her. With Sonia dead, Ganondorf seizes the secret stone, finally attaining the power he had long desired. Attaching the stone to his forehead, a whirlwind of malice surrounds. The moon turns blood red, the ground trembles, and Ganondorf transforms fully into his Demon King form. With this newfound strength, he unleashes endless hordes of monsters, swiftly conquering much of Hyrule. However, in a desperate final stand, Rauru, Zelda, and the other ancient wielders of secret stones manage to seal Ganondorf away beneath Hyrule Castle, until the day Zelda and Link discover him thousands of years later.
At the end of the game, when facing Ganondorf, he declares that he will drown Hyrule in darkness, and he laments that Link is not a more worthy opponent for such a battle.
Regaining his full power, he returns to his Gerudo form, proclaiming his revival as king. The battle intensifies as Link forces him to transform into his Demon King state. With the help of modern-day sages wielding their own secret stones, Link fights Ganondorf until the Demon King undergoes draconification, swallowing his secret stone and becoming the Demon Dragon. He seizes Link and ascends into the sky, setting the stage for the game's climactic final battle. Zelda, now the Light Dragon, aids Link in an aerial duel through the floating islands of Hyrule. In a breathtaking finale, Link, wielding the restored Master Sword, thrusts the blade into the Eye of Malice atop Ganondorf's head, finally ending the Demon King's reign and saving Hyrule once and for all.
Ganondorf's fates in Tears of the Kingdom are undeniably impressive. He successfully conquers Hyrule not once, but twice, spreading his malice across the land. His resurrection triggers 4 major calamities, known as the regional phenomenon.
A never-ending snowstorm in the Hebra region, a zombie-like apocalypse in the Gerudo Desert, caused by the Gibdos, a bizarre addiction-like affliction in Eldin, due to the marbled rock roast. Seriously, what was going on there? However, despite his power, this iteration of Ganondorf is by far the least developed of the four. While he executes his plans almost flawlessly, he lacks depth and personality. He resembles Jiren from Dragon Ball Super, believing that might makes right, and that's about all we get from him. We also know little about his past, other than that he is an entirely new reincarnation of Ganondorf, separate from previous versions seen in other timelines. If Tears of the Kingdom had delved deeper into his motivations, why this Ganondorf is so uniquely evil and obsessed with Hyrule's conquest, he could have been one of the best versions of the King of Evil we've ever seen.
Coming in at the number 3 spot is the Demon King from Twilight Princess, the sequel to Majora's Mask.
As many know, this Ganondorf is the same one from Ocarina of Time, but this time, his plans are foiled by Zelda and Link. Zelda sends Link back in time before Ganondorf can enter the Sacred Realm and claim the Triforce. With this knowledge, Link warns the child version of Princess Zelda about Ganondorf's plans, which leads to his capture. The newly assembled 6 sages attempt to execute him at the Arbiter's Grounds, a prison located in the Gerudo Desert. During the execution, Ganondorf is stabbed with the sword of the 6 sages, but just as he nears death, he calls upon a source of power, what would later be known as the Divine Prank. This so-called prank results in him claiming the Triforce of Power, allowing him to survive the execution. With his newfound strength, he breaks free from his restraints and kills the Sage of Water. Left with no other choice, the remaining sages seal Ganondorf into the Twilight Realm before he can fully transform into his infamous boar-like beast Ganon form. The Twilight Realm is a parallel dimension to Hyrule, where only the Twilight race can exist. However, thanks to the Triforce of Power, Ganondorf is able to survive in this realm. From there, he takes on the form of a giant golden spectral head and seeks out Zant, a member of the Twilight race who dreams of conquering the world of light as revenge for his people being banished to the Twilight Realm centuries ago. When Zant encounters Ganondorf, he sees him as a false god, yet one who can help him achieve his goal. Ganondorf, recognizing Zant's desperation for power, grants him a portion of his own strength through the Triforce of Power. Empowered by this dark magic, Zant curses the Princess of Twilight, Midna, transforming her into an imp-like creature and stripping her of her true form. Zant then invades Hyrule, spreading Twilight across the land and corrupting the remaining Twilight, turning them into shadow beasts under his control. With his newfound power, he quickly takes over Hyrule, covering the kingdom in Twilight. This sets the stage for Twilight Princess, where Link must ultimately defeat Zant before facing the true mastermind behind everything, Ganondorf himself.
After Zant's defeat, the player arrives at Hyrule Castle, where Ganondorf sits atop the throne, waiting for them. Holding Princess Zelda captive, he possesses her, forcing Link to battle with her.
This fight mirrors Ocarina of Time, with Zelda launching magical energy balls at Link, which he must deflect back to damage her. Once she is freed from possession, Midna, using the power of the fused shadow, purges Ganondorf from Zelda's body. However, the battle is far from over. Now enraged, Ganondorf taps into the Triforce of Power and transforms into Dark Beast Ganon, making him stronger than ever before. As Wolf Link, the player must battle the monstrous boar-like Ganon in the sanctum of Hyrule Castle. He charges at Link and Midna, but with skillful dodges and counters, they manage to bring him down. With one final attack, Ganondorf is defeated, but not for long. Using the last of his strength, Ganondorf reverts to his golden spectral form once more. Midna, in a desperate move, teleports Link and Zelda away, sacrificing herself to fight Ganondorf alone, but unfortunately, she fails. Shortly after, Ganondorf arrives in Hyrule Field, holding Midna's shattered helmet in his hands as a trophy of his victory. With a triumphant smirk, he crushes it before raising his sword and charging at Link and Zelda on horseback, followed by his ghostly army. Now, the battle shifts into a horseback duel, with Link wielding the Master Sword and Zelda firing the arrows of light to weaken Ganondorf. After knocking him off his horse, the final showdown begins, a one-on-one sword duel for the fate of Hyrule. Lightning flashes across the battlefield as Ganondorf and Link clash swords in a cinematic and intense battle. With one final powerful strike, Link leaps into the air and plunges the Master Sword into Ganondorf's chest. Even on the brink of death, Ganondorf refuses to accept defeat. He attempts to call upon the Triforce of Power once again, only to be met with the vision of Zant, who snaps his own neck, symbolizing Ganondorf's downfall. With that, the Demon King finally meets his end. At this point in the ranking, all of these versions of Ganondorf are nearly neck and neck, making it incredibly difficult to choose who should be placed higher. However, we ultimately put Twilight Princess Ganondorf in third place. His manipulation of Zant to spread Twilight across Hyrule showcases his willingness to use whatever means necessary, even exploiting others, to achieve his goals. The final battle is nothing short of incredible, featuring multiple phases. Fighting against Zelda, then Dark Beast Ganon, then a horseback chase, and finally an epic sword duel to the death. This version of Ganondorf is powerful, sadistic, and ruthless. but he lacks the depth and character development of the next two entries. While his motivation for revenge against Hyrule is solid, certainly stronger than Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf, it's not quite enough to push him higher on this list. Nonetheless, Twilight Princess Ganondorf remains one of the most iconic and formidable versions of the King of Evil.
Taking the number 2 spot on our list is the Wind Waker iteration of Ganondorf, a villain with a depth of character rarely seen in the series.
This version of Ganondorf originates from an alternate timeline that branches off from Ocarina of Time. In this timeline, Link successfully defeats Ganondorf, and he is subsequently sealed away in the Sacred Realm by Zelda and the Seven Sages, seemingly ending his reign of terror. However, centuries later, the Demon King's seal weakens, allowing him to break free and once again set his sights on ruling Hyrule. But unlike previous times, no hero appeared to stop him. Link, having been sent back in time at the end of Ocarina of Time, was never around to create a lineage of future heroes. With no hero to challenge him, the gods made a drastic decision. They flooded Hyrule, submerging the kingdom beneath the sea along with the Master Sword. The remaining Hylians fled to the mountaintops, which became the scattered islands of the Great Sea. Now searching for the Triforce, Ganondorf establishes the Forsaken Fortress and sends his monstrous servant, the Helmarock King, to capture young girls with pointed ears, hoping to find the reincarnation of Princess Zelda, who holds the Triforce of Wisdom. During his search, he slaughters the sages of wind and water to prevent them from restoring the Master Sword's power, ensuring he could not be sealed away again. When Link finally confronts him at the Forsaken Fortress, Ganondorf remains eerily calm, commending Link's efforts. But then he reveals his ace. The Master Sword had been serving as a seal on his power. By removing it from its pedestal, Link has inadvertently freed Ganondorf's full strength. Link attacks, but the Master Sword, now powerless, fails to wound Ganondorf. Laughing, the Demon King easily overpowers Link and is moments away from killing him before Tetra, soon revealed as Zelda, intervenes. However, upon grabbing her, Ganondorf's Triforce of Power reacts to hers, confirming her identity as the princess he's been searching for. Before he can act, Link and Zelda are rescued by Medli and Valoo. Later, after Link restores the Master Sword's power and gathers the full Triforce of Courage, Ganondorf captures Zelda and takes her to his tower beneath the waves. There, he recounts his past, offering a rare glimpse into his motivations. Ganondorf speaks of his homeland, the Gerudo Desert, describing its brutal winds, scorching heat during the day and frigid cold at night. These winds brought nothing but suffering and death to his people, while Hyrule's winds carried prosperity and life. He longed to claim that prosperity for his own. With the Triforce nearly complete, Ganondorf overpowers Link and prepares to make his wish, to restore Hyrule under his rule. But before he can, the King of Red Lions, revealed as the former King of Hyrule, touches the Triforce first. Instead of wishing for Hyrule's return, the king wishes for hope, for Link and Zelda's future, before asking the gods to wash Hyrule away forever. Ganondorf watches as everything he's fought for slips away, laughing maniacally in disbelief.
With no kingdom left to claim, Ganondorf fights a desperate battle against Link and Zelda as Hyrule floods below. In a stunning duel, Link and Zelda work together. Zelda fires light arrows while Link deflects them with his shield, stunning Ganondorf. In the final, most cinematic moment of the fight, Link leaps into the air and drives the Master Sword into Ganondorf's skull.
Before he turns to stone, Ganondorf smiles and mutters that he can once again hear the winds of his homeland, before being forever sealed beneath the ocean. Wind Waker's Ganondorf stands apart from his other incarnations because of his deeply human motivations. Rather than being driven purely by power and revenge, this Ganondorf sought to revive Hyrule to bring prosperity to his people. His methods were ruthless, but his goal was more complex than simple conquest. This is also the only version of Ganondorf to successfully unite all three pieces of the Triforce. If the King of Hyrule hadn't intervened, Ganondorf would have won, dramatically altering the Zelda timeline. With his incredible depth, menacing presence, and one of the most cinematic final battles in Zelda history, Wind Waker's Ganondorf easily earns the number 2 spot on our list.
Taking the number 1 spot on our list is the original version of the Dark Lord himself, Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time.
From the very first cutscene, where Link has a prophetic dream, we sense the impending danger. But Ganondorf's true introduction comes when we first meet Princess Zelda. She tells us that after the civil war in Hyrule, Ganondorf has come to the castle to swear loyalty to the King of Hyrule on behalf of the Gerudo. However, Zelda is skeptical. She has had similar dreams foretelling Ganondorf's betrayal and his quest to steal the Triforce from the Sacred Realm. Even in this brief scene, it's clear that Ganondorf is willing to do whatever it takes to get close to the king, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. Later in the game, after Link collects the 3 sacred stones, he returns to Hyrule Castle Town, only to witness Zelda and her guardian, Impa, fleeing on horseback with Ganondorf in hot pursuit. As Ganondorf confronts Link, demanding to know where they went, Link stands his ground. Amused, Ganondorf mocks the young hero before effortlessly knocking him back with a blast of dark energy, warning that soon the world will be his. Shortly after, Link uses the Ocarina of Time to open the Door of Time, unwittingly playing right into Ganondorf's hands. Suspecting that Link held the key to the Sacred Realm, Ganondorf had been following him. The moment the door opens, Ganondorf seizes the opportunity, entering the Sacred Realm and obtaining the Triforce. However, due to his unbalanced heart, the Triforce splits into 3 pieces. The Triforce of Power remains with Ganondorf, while the Triforce of Wisdom goes to Zelda, and the Triforce of Courage is bestowed upon Link. With the Triforce of Power, Ganondorf wastes no time seizing control of Hyrule. He kills the king, forcing Zelda into hiding. Hyrule Castle is destroyed, Castle Town is left in ruins, and his influence spreads across the land, from the fiery peaks of Death Mountain to the shadowed depths of the Lost Woods. He built his own fortress atop the ruins of the old castle, finally claiming his long-desired throne as the King of Hyrule. But his reign is destined to be short-lived. 7 years later, Link returns from the Sacred Realm, now an adult wielding the Master Sword. He awakens the 6 sages and reunites with Zelda, who had been hiding under the alias of Sheik. Upon revealing herself, Zelda is immediately captured by Ganondorf, who knows that with both Zelda and Link in his grasp, he can unite the Triforce once more. Determined to rescue Zelda, Link ascends Ganondorf's tower, where he finds the Dark Lord playing a pipe organ, awaiting his arrival. Ganondorf mocks the hero before unleashing his power, engaging Link in a battle of light and dark. After a grueling fight in which Link deflects Ganondorf's energy blasts and strikes him down with the light arrows and Master Sword, the Dark Lord collapses, using his remaining strength to bring the castle down in one last effort to eliminate Link and Zelda. But Link and Zelda escape just in time, or so they think. From beneath the rubble, a monstrous roar erupts. Ganondorf, now consumed by rage and his Triforce of Power, undergoes a terrifying transformation. In a flash of light, the Gerudo King is no more. What stands before Link is Ganon, a towering beast wielding dual blades. With a single swing, Ganon knocks the Master Sword away, forcing Link to rely on the Bigoron Sword or Megaton Hammer to survive. In a desperate battle, Link stuns Ganon with light arrows and lands crucial strikes on his vulnerable tail. As the beast weakens, the ring of fire surrounding them vanishes, giving Link the chance to retrieve the Master Sword. In a final showdown, lightning crashes around them as Link delivers the finishing blow, slicing through Ganon's skull. Zelda calls upon the 6 sages who open a portal to the evil realm, sealing Ganondorf away once and for all. As he is dragged into the void, he curses Link and Zelda, vowing that one day he will return to destroy their descendants. With Ganondorf sealed away, Hyrule begins to heal. Link is sent back in time to reclaim his childhood, and Zelda restores order to the kingdom, bringing Ocarina of Time's epic tale to a close. This version of Ganondorf is the one that started it all. Unlike later incarnations, he didn't simply rely on brute force. He used cunning and manipulation to infiltrate Hyrule's royal court, deceiving the king and using Link to unlock the Sacred Realm for him. He systematically conquered Hyrule, spreading terror across every region, turned the Lost Woods into a monster-infested nightmare, forcing the Kokiri into hiding. He imprisoned the Gorons in the Fire Temple, leaving them to be devoured by Volvagia. He froze Zora's domain in an endless winter, trapping its people in ice. He unleashed the monstrous Bongo Bongo upon Kakariko Village, terrorizing the refugees who fled his conquest. He forced the Gerudo women into a life of crime, turning them into ruthless thieves and assassins. Ganondorf didn't just conquer Hyrule, he broke it. He made its people suffer as revenge for the Gerudo, whom Hyrule had long abandoned in the desert. And in the Fallen timeline, Ganondorf actually succeeds in killing Link before being sealed away, making him one of the only versions of the character to canonically slay the hero of time.
While other versions of Ganondorf may have had grander schemes, Ocarina of Time's Ganondorf remains one of the most iconic and menacing villains in the Legend of Zelda series. His intelligence, power, and sheer ruthlessness make him the definitive king of evil. And that wraps up our list. Let us know in the comments, who's your favorite version of Ganondorf? And be sure to like, share, and subscribe to see our future Zelda content. This has been ND with Game Domain.